Yeah, yo guys, it's the kid, it's me and your boy Ford. So I guess he's the GOAT. Messi's the GOAT. No. And also don't back down. So you said Messi's on the decline. Is that what you said? No. You said Messi's on the decline. Okay. You said Barcelona will not make it out of the group.
Bro, where's the respect? People like introduce me to the channel, say what's up, here's your boy Ford, here's his Twitter handle, we're gonna just go straight with the Messi slam?
No. Well.
Record will show that I said Barcelona were gonna win today, that Messi was gonna score. He also bagged 2 assists today, and he's proved why he's one of the best of all time. I just want you to admit it, HH.
Oh no. I'll say, look, shout out to Messi. Well, he was playing against a team who were losing 3-0 to Paderborn.
Lionel Richie.
No, I don't say that. Oh, sorry. Okay, guys, chill. Okay, he was. Okay, I think we're hearing echo. So, this was against Paderborn, wasn't it?
But Dortmund's 3-0 down, you mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, the loss that I had was against Paderborn.
Who?
Basically, Barcelona beat a side where the team that they beat was a team who were losing 3-0 to Paderborn. Mm-hmm. Yes or no?
They were losing 3-0. They ended up drawing the game, but yes. What is your point?
No. So all I'm saying is this is that based on what Messi did today against Barcelona, does it add any more weight onto him being the GOAT? Simple as that.
I mean, it's a long line of weight his overall body of work's already put him in that pedestal where he's in the conversation for it, and the accolades that he's gaining on a week-to-week basis, on a month-to-month basis, on a season-to-season basis is only adding to the legend that is Lionel Messi. So not to say that, he's only the legend, he's only the best of all time because of today. No, this just adds to what he's already doing, which is cementing his legacy.
And what is his legacy, Mr. Forward?
He's one of the greatest players of all time. Top 3. Easily top 3.
With no World Cup and no goal in a World Cup knockouts game.
For me, you don't need to have a World Cup to prove that you are the greatest of all time, especially when his body of work is so consistent as it has been over these last few years. In fact, over the last more than over a decade, he's been the best player in the world in, for me, the hardest era of football, which is currently right now. Doing it.
This is the hardest. So this is the hardest era where this is the hardest era of football where you don't get kicked in the face, you don't get bullied, and you don't get smacked around as Pele did, which is why he got kicked out of the '66 World Cup. Is that way we're saying?
Because players are faster than they've ever been before, they're stronger than they've ever been before, and they're more tactically astute than they've ever been before. Again, all managers say this is the case, all players know this is the case because they're actually playing it physically. And if you look at even your past legends, they will say that, you know what, as good as I was, it would be difficult for me to cope in the current era. That's not because they weren't great technical footballers at their time. It just shows that the game's evolved. And obviously, yes, they would have evolved with the times that they were. If you put George Best in somebody's body today, yes, he would obviously adapt to the physical demands of modern football. But that doesn't take away from what Messi's actually doing in today's football, where there's obviously so much more tactical awareness of how to stop a player. Everybody knows how good Messi is now. There's so much research that's done on his game. But yet, why can nobody stop Lionel Messi doing what he's doing on a week-to-week basis? Because he's the greatest, one of the greatest of all time. And I think there's no reason to say that he's not that because he didn't score in a World Cup knockout stage game. I mean, that's a very small point to put against somebody like Lionel Messi when his body of work is so great for what he's done over how many years now? So for me, when he's done it on a consistent basis in the Champions League, in La Liga, in international tournaments, just not actually won the tournament, but still performed in those tournaments, I think it's very hard or it's very wrong of us, or wrong of you, should I say, Double H, to hold it against him for not scoring in a knockout stage in the World Cup or not having the tournament. So what, if Higuain scores that one-on-one and he has a World Cup that changes everything? For me, I think it's very arbitrary just to put that whole thing on Lionel Messi and say, you know, that's a black marker on his career and that he shouldn't be regarded as one of the greatest of all time. And because of all of that, that's why he needs to be regarded as one of the greatest of all time.
Moving on swiftly.
Oh, so you agree with me?
No. I ain't agreeing crap like that. For me.
And then obviously my is at forward_100. It's great to be on the channel again. Obviously, it's good to be with Hypop in the new humble abode. I'm loving the setup. It's good. Obviously, Chelsea had a good result today. Just need one more win to get into the Champions League knockout stages. Semis minimum. And yeah, it should be a really good show. So make sure you guys leave a like on the video, get your comments in, get some super chats in, and it's gonna be a good show. And also, someone clipped that up that HH did actually agree with me there.
As I was saying. So look, we're going to really delve into the whole Champions League and everything. We'll be looking at your live chats and stuff. I want to talk about Lukaku. We're going to jump it up and down from everyone. We don't want to talk about Lukaku. Let me just give my take here on Lukaku real quick right now.
Big wrong.
He still teams. He's still teams because he has the tendency. But I said something to Ford before we went live, and I think this is the best way to sort of like assess your boy Lukaku. Lukaku has a great footballing brain, but I don't think his ability matches up with what he wants to do. There are a lot of great creative ideas in his brain of what he wants to do and what he wants to achieve, but sometimes the ability that he has with his feet doesn't always translate into those things. But my thing is this, I think there's this reporter, Mina Razuka, a reporter, something, I don't know, just something, where she said that, Lukaku is not a very intelligent player, that Morata is more intelligent than him. During the whole Morata Lukaku thing when Chelsea...
Who Morata?
Let me land. So that's what was said. So basically, my thing is this, is that she's been made to look like a complete moron. Because in 2019 right now, Lukaku is putting in superb, exquisite, exponential crosses into your boy Martinez, and Morata is missing open goals. So that's what's happening right now. And for me, my thing is that look, Lukaku, and obviously I want to bring it into your boy Ford here. Like Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez, I think, are reminding people that let's go back to the strike partnerships. Or if you don't even want to go back to the strike partnerships, it's something that is still nice, still useful, and I think it is a great. Well, now it's a great alternative to the inside forward. Personally, for me, I think that football matches are much more exciting with two strikers, and I feel that when maybe just me say, oh my gosh, you're such a nostalgia merchant and everything. Okay, fine. Just when I was growing up and you saw two strikers, whether it was Del Piero, Trezeguet, Del Piero, Vialli, Dennis Bergkamp, Thierry Henry, Crespo, Enrico Chiesa and everything, it was good. And I think that it's always very interesting to see how these two guys would work. So how well do you think, how well do you rate what both Martinez and Lukaku have been doing? And do you think it's down to just the skill and the talent that they always had? Or do you think we need to give more respect on Antonio Conte's name, who made Diego Costa, who is now a complete and total loser? So is this all Conte's work, or were these two players always this good?
First of all, Conte did not make Diego Costa. He was a great striker before Conte. Got to a Champions League final with Atletico, also won them the La Liga against, I think, one of the best Barcelona sides we've seen over recent years, and also Real Madrid as well. Secondly, Tim's is very disrespectful. You need to stop saying that to Lukaku. Big Rom is a big striker right here, okay? Tim's, that's disrespectful, bro. Did you see the pass he did today? Like, that was a charisma-esque pass. Like, that was beautiful.
Quality pass.
And to your point, again, just to also piggyback off of your point, when you say Lukaku has a great footballing brain, but then maybe it doesn't show that in his actual footballing ability and how he plays it. I understand what you're saying, and I don't want people to misinterpret what you're saying. Not saying that he sees the game the same way as, like, let's say, a Lionel Messi or De Bruyne or somebody that just kind of has those pictures in their head in terms of how they see the game. But I think when you listen to how he talks about the game, and even if you do your research on him, I think it's well documented that he actually spends hours at a time, obviously former Belgian coach, Henry, watching football games. They would even talk about how he used to sometimes watch Bundesliga 2 games where he'd be staying up for hours watching those games. Why are you watching
Bundesliga 2?
Why? I don't know, but this is the story, and they said that they were watching those level of games, and they would just talk about football. And I think even now you see how he talks about the game, you can see he has an understanding for the game, but in terms of how he plays, it doesn't really come off like that. Again, when you're 6 foot, 3 or 4, built like a bodybuilder, not naturally gifted as a footballer, but I think he certainly knows how to play the game. It's just his natural instinct doesn't always come off. But I think in terms of why he's doing so well at Inter Milan, which is like I predicted him to do, I actually also said he would score more goals than Ronaldo this season. I think he's got double the amount of goals in Serie A currently. I think it's just a perfect storm. I think he's found a manager who gets the best out of him in Conte, found a very good strike partner in Lautaro Martinez, and
so how much are you going to give to Conte? How much are you going to give to Lukaku and Martinez? So is this because like in my in my view, I give Pep Guardiola a lot of the credits based on what he was doing, what he has done with Sterling. Sterling deserves some credit because you're going out doing that, but I would give Pep, let's say, like 60% because I think he's really done a lot to coach Sterling a lot. So my thing is that with Lukaku and Martinez, is it really based on just what Conte has coached and told them? Because this is a Lukaku who I think is playing a lot more better than this is pretty much the best I've seen of Lukaku. It's either this or his Everton stint, but I think this is better than his Everton stint because I think he's a lot smarter and much more mature. Who was Lautaro Martinez before Conte came in? Nobody. He wasn't even on the flipping map. So, how much of a percentage would you give to Conte? How much of a percentage would you give it to Martinez and Lukaku?
I think I wouldn't want to underplay how much of a part Conte's played. I think Conte's played a really good part in, I would say, the resurgence in Lukaku because we can't forget how bad it was getting at Man United. And I think he's found a really good strike partner in Lautaro Martinez. But if I was to put a percentage on it, I would probably say, I'd probably give 40% credit to Conte and say 60% to Lukaku. And obviously a large part of that obviously is Lautaro Martinez, but the reason why I say that is I think the best Lukaku that I saw was at Everton in his last season. I think he scored 25 league goals, was actually top scorer on the last league, was top scorer going into the last 2 league games until Harry Kane scored 7 goals in the last 2 games and ended up stealing the Golden Boot that season. But Lukaku's shown he's got the ability to score goals. I think the only question mark on him was scoring in big games, which he started to do now for Inter Milan this season. And I thought people forget how good he was before he obviously went to Man United. And again, you can be a very good player, but if you're in the wrong system, in the wrong team at the wrong time, you're not going to get the right results. And I feel like he's showing the player that he is and the player that he can even improve to be, because I think he can go on to be one of the better strikers in Europe. Not the best striker in Europe, but I think certainly in and around top echelon of the top strikers in Europe, definitely.
I want to change things up, man. I want to talk about Sancho because Sancho's been mentioned in the live chats. Let me be very clear here. If I don't see that Lucien Favre has been sacked by 9 a.m. sharp tomorrow morning, I'm inducting Dortmund's badge because this is literally egg on the living face of your boy. What's his face? This is literally an egg on the face of your boy thingamajig and Lucien Favre. So first off, you bench Sancho. That's the first thing that they do. You bench Sancho, and you get completely outplayed. We're gonna have a discussion about Hummels. Don't worry, we will. But then Sancho now comes on, scores a G, and is one of the better players for Dortmund. So in my view here, let me take over to you. So in your view, because this is my thing here. I understand where you want to talk about professionalism, him coming back, whether it's from duty or whatever stuff. But I think that Favre doesn't have that luxury. He doesn't have the luxury to pretty much shake his head and be like, you were late and everything because you're fighting for your job. Now if Dortmund are a respectable club, you're fighting for your job. If Dortmund are a really respectable club and they really set the benchmark high, he's sacked because you've shown that you are not mature and responsible enough as a manager to compete with Bayern Munich. Mönchengladbach are doing better than you in the Bundesliga. Who the hell do they have? You were losing 3-0 to flipping Paderborn. We talked about this on the Twitch stream, Sancho to Chelsea. No offense to United fans, Sancho shouldn't touch Man United. That's a bad move. So this is my take. Sancho, I feel, if he isn't respected at Dortmund and if Favre remains, he should leave. And if he leaves, I think that he should definitely look at either Barcelona or Dortmund. I think he'd be too great at flipping Barcelona. And I think that's the kind of player that they definitely need with that kind of energy, especially with what's happening. Look, the Oos is still great, sure. The Oos is still that dude. The Oos is still that dude. Relax. The Oos is still tier. When he wants to be, he's still tier 1. So don't look. I say don't bloody smack them, man. Don't laugh there. So my thing is, what do you think happens with Sancho, man? Do you think he should leave? Do you think he should stay? Where should he go? Do you think that he can realize his full potential? And before you answer that, let me just hit the super chat. Here. Super chat here from Julian I and £5 super chat. HH Favre just embarrassed himself tonight. We are so terrible. We could do so much better with the Norwich manager right now. Yes. No. Because Now you said that Pochettino would be the right man for Dortmund. I say crap. Pochettino is overrated. That loser messed up that flipping Champions League final. Daniel Fark would be a great acquisition. If it's between Fark and Pochettino, Daniel Fark over that overrated dude Pochettino. How you didn't even win a trophy? Oh my gosh, he took Tottenham to the next level. How many trophies did you win? How successful were you? Should we really now rate success as you not winning any trophies but you just doing well, putting on the pressure? Give me a break. Take it away, bro.
We're gonna get onto Pochettino and obviously vicariously get onto Mourinho, which we will get onto. But pertaining to Sancho and Dortmund, first of all, yeah, I agree. Fabre's tenure for me has come to an end. I think we've seen where he can take the Dortmund team. He had a good run, but ultimately, the fact that you couldn't bring over the Bundesliga when you had like a 7-point lead, an 8-point leader, it just shows that he hasn't got the minerals to get them to where they go. Let's not forget, they have a huge mountain to climb over in the Bundesliga and Bayern Munich, who are a dynasty in German football. But they have what it takes now. They've spent the money. They're not losing their best players to Bayern Munich anymore, currently at least. And they're spending big in the summer. I mean, they spent a lot of money to get the likes of Brandt in, Hazard in, Hummels, of course, they brought back, and it's just not working out. And I think the most infuriating thing as a fan of football, and especially from what I've been hearing from Dortmund fans, is the football's just not been as fluid as they would have liked it to have been. Especially when you're seeing somebody with the potential that Sancho has, being benched by this manager, who's then coming on and getting a goal, but he's clearly not in favour. Really, a manager
because they were a lot better like last season, but this season they're trash.
It's all pertaining to this season. I mean, we've seen in a team like Tottenham, who maybe are known as one of the biggest teams, but they've gone and sacked their manager who got them to a Champions League final. So then, why should Fabry have so much weight or have so much leniency for Dortmund? What does he actually want them? He's got them to compete in the for the league title, but they didn't actually end up winning it. So for me, Lucien Fabre's job really should be to cultivate young players and get the best out of the team. But if he's not getting the best out of Sancho, then for me, it's already like he's dead in the water. So, but what should Sancho do? I mean, he should just come home. Like, just come to Chelsea. Like, we know he's a Chelsea player at heart. We know he's obviously manned them above the likes of Abraham, Mount. He's grown up with these guys. Obviously, South London boys as well.
So you think that he could work at Chelsea?
He'd be a perfect fit, bro. Like, perfect fit.
So it's basically to replace Willian or...
To replace Willian on the right now. As much as I, as a Chelsea fan, have been crying out for a left-footed right winger for over a decade now, since obviously the days of I Am Robin, I think Sancho obviously being another young...
was good that season, bro.
It was amazing. It was amazing for us. But I think Sancho being another young English player with great potential, we fit right into the mold of this Chelsea team. And again, we're not in a position, obviously we're going to get onto Chelsea, but we're not in a position where we need to be buying more players to really fill out the squad. We need to be buying players who are going to have that end product, who are going to improve the squad right now. And Sancho, also with room to develop, obviously in his career because he's still quite young, would improve the first team right now. So for me, it doesn't make sense to go to Man United where obviously they're just a hot mess right now. Barcelona, I mean, we've seen what's happened to the Us. Cool. We've seen what's happened to players that's gone over to Barcelona and it's not quite worked out for them. Obviously Coutinho as well. So why would you take the risk there? I think going to Chelsea is not just a safe bet, but it's a great way to take his career to the next level.
Okay.
And also, I wanted to say now, I think he's better than the Us ever was at Dortmund.
Yeah, chill. Oh, no. With all respect to Sancho, the Us at Dortmund was next level, man. Okay, so like basically the issue. Let me just, before we run this off, for all of you guys trying to get me out of here about the Us and everything, the thing about it is that like the Us just doesn't fit the system. Put the Us in the right system, his tier 1. Put the Us in the right system,
he's
his
great
tier 1.
He's great with both of his feet, but I think the consistency I've seen from this guy over the last year it's not been good enough. Yes, injuries have halted him, and also he's got a brick manager. He's not getting the best out of him for sure. But I've still been very
forward. I'm telling you right now. So it's if you put the Us with the right manager, right system, he isn't one of the best young players in the world. Tell me that.
He is one of the best young players in the
world. Better than João Felix, the Cats. Better than João Felix.
I've already said that Dembele is one of the best young players in the world. Yes. But
is he better than João Felix? Yes or no?
He's better than João Felix. But the point
why did he pause? Why did he even have to pause? That should be a straight answer. How can he be? If someone says to you that,
speaking right now, Dembele's not been in any great form for me.
Even when he's not on form, the Us is still better than João Felix the Cat, who should have never won the bloody 2019 flipping Golden Lion, bro.
The Us, Dembele, because I think he's lost the name as the Us now, given his performances. And Sancho, right now, for me, I can say Sancho Dortmund is better than Ousmane Dembele Dortmund. Simple as that. And also for
That's
me,
wise.
the reason why Sancho would be a great fit at Chelsea, not because he's going to displace Hudson-Odoi, he would be going on the right, and it will be, for me, England's future front three, which would be Hudson-Odoi, Tammy Abraham, and Sancho as a front three. That front three for the next 5 to 10 years is going to be amazing, and that's what I want to see at Chelsea.
So let's, speaking of Chelsea, let's roll over to Chelsea right now, because obviously, we due to Bricknet's things, with the review that we did was sort of in and out. But let's, because I want to be fully clear here right now. Kepa Arrizabalaga, that's your name, isn't it? That's what your parents gave you the name. Is essentially a brick. Keyword there, essentially a brick. As a keeper, you have to be responsible, you have to be more mature, and you have to become under pressure. Okay, you saved the penalty. Good, it was a great penalty. Good penalty save. So because you saved a penalty, does that give you the right to misjudge a ball over the top? Some dude, wait, let me make sure for this on the street. Some dude called Vass, isn't that his name? Vass. Daniel Vass. That's probably the first goal that he's ever scored in his entire career. Some dude called Vass, that was a cross. He wasn't going for a shot. That was just a hopeless cross that any keeper in the right man would save. But no. Kepa isn't like any normal keeper. Kepa is special. So Kepa said, you know what? I am so sure this ball is going to go over. I'm going to put my hands up like this, then move them down, and out of nowhere, a freakish goal. Forward, I'm going to say this right now, because I don't know about you, Forward. A Champions League is on the line. And when a Champions League is on the line, we need all hands on deck. And we need every player playing at the best of their ability. So, Ford, we can't win the CL with a brick and goal. I don't know how we can, because the aim is to win the Champions League. The aim is to retain our Champions League title. That's the aim, is to retain our Champions League title, retain it. The only way that we can defend that title is by this clown called Kepa getting out of there. So, what do you think should happen in order for us to defend this title if we've got a brick between the posts? And before I speak, any of you clowns who think for 1 second Chelsea are touching the Europa League, unlucky, mate, it ain't happening. Because Chelsea are beating it and Chelsea ain't sniffing that flipping Europa League. So sorry, I know you so badly wanted to get on an 8-8, but it ain't happening. Chelsea will be playing in the knockout stages of the Champions League. So forward, baby, hit it. Losers, man.
Honestly, semi's minimum is a realistic possibility, but I'm starting to question it now with Kepa and goal, man. I mean, today's the day where honestly I'm cutting ties with Kepa, man.
Guy's garbage.
I've been riding for him for a long time, man. I was one of those where he said that 70 million for him when he obviously came in. I can see the logic behind it. A 7-year contract. He's here for the future. He's going to be a world-class goalkeeper. But I need to be seeing enough now. And I'm not just jumping on the bandwagon now. I've been seeing poor performances throughout the season, even towards the tail end of last season. And for me, it kind of just comes down to the fact that he's just not strong enough with his wrists. Like, the second goal was embarrassing as it was. And obviously after making a great penalty save. But what really irked me about today's performance was the first goal, where the header, the volley from Maxi Gomez. Horrible finisher, by the way. Missed two complete open goals in the first half.
Classic.
Horrendous footballer. The shot spirals right at Kepa, but it literally goes through his wrists and into the bottom corner. I'm like, bro, that's your bread and butter as a goalkeeper.
It went through him.
And while he's a good distributor of the ball from the back and out, he was kind of brought forward to Chelsea to kind of be a part of this new culture of progressive football and playing out from the back and essentially basically bringing Ruud Gullit's 80s football of Chelsea, which to fruition, which is playing sexy football. That's what Chelsea are trying to do right now, and Kepa's a part of that. But he's just, first of all, his distribution's not even been that good the last few games. Obviously, giving the ball to Aguero on the weekend, and even today, some complete calamitous errors. And I mean, his shot stopping in general is not. You were trying to compare him to Mignolet before, obviously on the live stream, and I was like, Mignolet probably made better saves that would make you go, oh my god, what a great save. But Kepa doesn't really do that. Again, I'm worried, man. Honestly, I think Semi's minimum is looking tough right now with him in goal.
Oh. Forward. So yes, so are you trying to tell me here that Chelsea can't make it to the semis of the Champions League rounds?
Bro, we gotta be real, man.
No. I know, yeah, but don't do the prime directive is to win the Champions League. Chelsea are a European heavyweight, so don't you believe that if somehow either Kepa gets replaced in January or the team gets reconstructed, that Chelsea can be able to pull through and win this trophy? What do you? No. Okay. Let me change the topic right now for you losing there. What do Chelsea need to do to win this trophy?
I mean, all I'm gonna say is it's tough, man. It's looking tough because I think January is not the right place to go and buy a goalkeeper of the caliber of again a European giant like Chelsea is. I think really you should be shopping for an important position like a goalkeeper in the summer window only. But honestly, he's not it. Honestly, when I look at someone like Ajax and I watch Onana and go, that's a goalkeeper that I have faith in. Yes, he's small and short, but athletic, can get across his goal well and make those important saves. He made a great save from Michy Batshuayi in the last game that we played against them. And I don't have that same faith and that same assurance when I watch Kepa in goal for us because, again, as a European giant that Chelsea have been the last 10, 15 years, we've had the privilege of watching great goalkeepers like Carlo Cudicini, like Petr Cech, one of the greatest goalkeepers in Premier League history, like Thibaut Courtois at his time at Chelsea, a very good goalkeeper. And Kepa is just not to that level. And if you look at today, honestly, we've got to be real. We were quite lucky today. Valencia missed a lot of clear chances.
A penalty?
And a penalty, yes, which Kepa saved. But again, they missed plenty of clear chances. And for us, we know that our issue is kind of being clinical. Yes, we create a lot of great chances, but we're not as clinical as we should be. I think in 2 or 3 years' time, with the right maturation of this team, we win this kind of game 3 or 4-0 easily. But that's not just because we have more clinical strikers, but that's also because we have a better goalkeeper in goal. Because ultimately, for Chelsea to be the team that I expect us to be, which is winning league titles and also competing and winning the Champions League under Lampard, which I believe can happen, we're going to need a better goalkeeper than Kepa is right now. Can he develop to be a better goalkeeper in the next few years? Yes. But is he doing enough right now to cement his place and say that he should be staying as Chelsea's number 1 goalkeeper? He's not doing it right now. So we've got to definitely assess the situation and somewhere maybe bring in somebody new because right now he's just not it, Chief. He's just not.
Okay. I want to switch things over to Juventus because obviously you weren't really here when we talked about it. So obviously you must have seen the Dybala goal.
Oof, nasty.
Crazy goal. So let me write this because I think that Dybala was supposed to take over Messi, and that was supposed to think that Dybala was supposed to do. He was supposed to really be the next thing, and he's never really been able to be that consistent guy. But I've always said that for Dybala, he has to be the face of Juventus. You build your team around Dybala because Dybala has the talents, the skills, and the tools to really be able to bring a team together and really be the engineer and the orchestrator of a team, which Cristiano can't be. And this is not me. I've just been told in the grapevine that Cristiano is playing like a complete bomb. That's just not me. That's just what I've been told. I am one of Cristiano's greatest fans. I've just been told that Cristiano is playing like a complete and utter loser. Which he is. Easy, I never said shh, I never said.
So no, I'm just laughing at things in this chat. People are saying that Chelsea must defend the Europa League title.
No, wait, no. Let me respond. I'm going to respond to all of you people in the live chat. No, let me respond. Let me go to rant. Don't hate. I know it pains you that the only team this decade to win a Champions, to win both European crowns is Chelsea. And the Premier League. The only team this decade to win 3 major trophies are Chelsea. I know you don't like it, but Chelsea are back where they belong. They are not touching the Europa League. They're not sniffing the Europa League because we are dealing with one of the European heavyweights of football. And this draw against Valencia, which should have actually been 5-2, means that Chelsea are through because Chelsea are going to destroy, bury, and dismember Lille. So when Chelsea are in the draw for the Champions League knockout stage and you losers don't take Chelsea in the Europa League, what the hell are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't beat me. It's your boy H. I'm still alive. I'm still black. I'm still real. I'm still that flipping dude. Semis minimum. Thank you for that super rant. So, before we're really interrupted there, Dybala, do you think two things? Do you think Dybala has what it takes to lead Juventus to Champions League glory? And is Cristiano really finished? And is Cristiano really a bomb now?
La Joya we're talking about. La Joya. What a free kick it was yesterday. Amazing free kick.
Quality.
And I think for a long time, some people saw he was going to be the next, the heir to Lionel Messi's throne. And But it's funny because a lot of people said that he couldn't actually play alongside Lionel Messi in the Argentina squad, and sorry couldn't get the best out of him and Cristiano in the same team. And what we've seen in the last few weeks is it's been Dybala who's been performing while Cristiano's been in the team and almost outshining him, which clearly he's not taking a liking to. And obviously we will get on to Cristiano. But as for Dybala, I think it was always meant for him to take the mantelpiece as Juventus.
Is he that dude? Is he that dude?
He was always meant to take the mantelpiece as the guy for Juventus. But honestly, I don't think he's that guy. I think he's a really good player, but I don't think he's that guy. A club as big as Juventus, to carry Juventus on his back,
so you're a hater?
I'm not a hater, I'm just a realist. And to be honest, what are his major Champions League performances? Because I remember the brace against Barcelona at home. That was big a couple of years back. I was against even MSN actually. But other than that, like, I think he's even been known as someone who generally only scores against the smaller team. He doesn't score in the big games generally. Now he's having a bit of a renaissance now, and he's looking good. Can he keep this up? We'll see. But I don't think he's one of the elite players. Because again, for me, so if you're going to be carrying Juventus on your back, you have to be one of the elite players in world football. And right now, I don't think he is that. But let's see what you can do. But obviously, pertaining to Cristiano, again, one of the greatest players of all time, no doubt.
Whoa, no. Okay, that's I'm stopping you there. So no. I'm stopping you there. No. I'm taking you for that.
Unequivocally, why he's not one of the greatest players of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo. Explain that.
You can't be one of the greatest without a World Cup. First, let me finish. You can't be one of the greatest without a World Cup. You can't be one of the greatest without a single goal in a World Cup knockouts game. You can't be one of the greatest if you keep hopping between great team after great team after great team. What are your great moments? What are your truly iconic moments? Were you on the pitch during that European final? Did you score the winning goal? No, you did not. It was actually Ede. Name me your great moments. Oh, Champions League final. And what happened? Against Manchester United, yeah, you scored that goal, but you also missed a penalty as well. Oh, 2017, okay. You scored two Gs against a loserish Juventus. Name me his great moments. No, it's all about media hype. Media flipping hype. And I'm going to expose these dudes. And I'm going to expose your goats because I'm that real dude. Please finish your point.
First and foremost, he's not my goat. I'm a fan of football. And as a football purist, I think it's only right that I call it right down the middle and call it fair as I see it. And without doubt, Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the greatest to ever lace up the boots and play the game that we call football. And some in America call soccer. But let me land. Don't interrupt me, please. Thank you. Cruyff. Batistuta. I can name so many. Ian Robin. Lionel Messi, of course. I can name so many more. Great players who never won a World Cup. So they're not greats of all time because they didn't win a World Cup. That was one of your requirements. Again, it just defeats it on purpose because these are guys that I know that you have gone and said it on this same channel, and people in the chat will know and will reference that you've said these guys are all greats of all time, and they've all not all won a World Cup. So why are they greats and Cristiano isn't? Not only to mention that Cristiano has won every single trophy there is to win in football other than the World Cup. Won the Champions League, has iconic moments, not just for Man United, not just for Real Madrid, but also for Juventus as well. In fact, he's got iconic moments of Juventus pending because he will turn it around in the second half of the season because that's what Cristiano does. He scores in the big end. He's there for the big moments, and you can't tell me he hasn't got iconic moments. Come on, bro. Don't lie, bro. Don't lie. Look, honestly, there isn't much for me to really say and prove because Cristiano's record speaks for itself. He's one of the greatest to ever do it.
For is he finished now? Yes or no? That was the original.
Oh, that's a different question. That's a different question. Is he finished? It looks like it. The thing is, you know what? Yeah, you know how many CR7 fans I just got up in the last 2 minutes. They're like, "Hey, I like this forward guy, you know." Honestly, like guys, let's be real. He's looking done out here. He's looking done. I think he can still turn it up in the second half of the season, and I think because it's Cristiano, there'll be that one game where he scores in the Champions League. But the decline.
Wait. So let me ask you a straight question. As of right now, 2019, would you induct him or put him on the review?
Look. There's an answer to that question, but see, if I say that answer, like, I need to make sure that I'm first of all safe, like the safety of my family is ensured. Like, can you confirm that for me? Like, will my family be safe no matter what I say? There might be. No, I haven't got that assurance. All I can say is that all I will say is that I would monitor the situation closely. That's all I can say.
Okay. What within you are you saying that he's done? Is it just based on his current form? What is the budget that says he is potentially done?
I think I always thought Sarri going to Juventus was a very funny one because he's a very stubborn manager, very principled in his own beliefs, and winning a Europa League with Chelsea now actually having silverware behind it makes him feel more validated by his beliefs. And I just kind of felt that does Cristiano really fit into what Sarri's mode of football is? And I don't think he does. So I always thought that they're gonna butt heads.
It's very technical.
And we're starting to see that obviously now erupt the situation. We've seen obviously Ronaldo take slight digs at him, obviously in how he's walked off the pitch in certain situations, and ultimately they're just not a great fit for each other. And you can obviously see that naturally his physical attributes, Cristiano, are starting to slowly wane. Obviously, technical attributes have been on the decline for a little while. And I don't think Sarri is the manager to get the best out of him in this part of his career. So it was always going to be not a great end. And I think the ending of Cristiano's tenure at the top is always going to be he's very headstrong. And he certainly wants to maintain, and he always wants to be in his mind that he is the best player in the world, regardless of how old he is and how he's performing. So he's not going to take too well to being benched and to being seen as, you know what, he's not at the peak of his powers anymore, which he clearly isn't. So, again, while he will always be good for a goal, maybe a moment in a Champions League knockout stage game, I think the decline is well and truly here. So, yeah. But again, I'm not saying he's a brick or anything like that, because look, I'm trying to make it home safe tonight, innit? I'm trying to make it home safe tonight. I'm trying to live my life.
Cristiano fanboys, Twitter is below the _100.
But yeah, it's looking a bit iffy right now. But at least his legacy is cemented as one of the greatest of all time. So there's that.
In your view. Let's write about Uncle Mourinho, because that's not something that we've actually discussed right now. So let me just be very clear here, and I want to just be cemented. But obviously, people have seen my views here, but we've not really done it back and forth here with Ford. Shocked me. I never saw this coming through, and this fully surprised me. 2 games in, but obviously getting on topic specifically with the Champions League, it is always very good when you make a comeback. Because a comeback in a game against whoever it is, yes, they should have already beat Olympiacos and everything, but I think a comeback against any team shows that there is a belief, there is a strong mental strength, and there is a never say die attitude, and that kind of resolute mental fortitude is very, very important in a team. That is probably even much more important than your physical talents and your attributes. But when you're now looking at this within the long term and what can Uncle Mourinho actually achieve with this Tottenham team, the tools are there. You've got an excellent finisher in Harry Kane. You've got a great attacking forward in a Son. You've got a very strong defense. I think Sanchez is a very, very underrated defender. So the tools are there. Mourinho's not winning a trophy with these players. He's not winning a trophy with this club. And I will repeat myself, if Mourinho ends up winning a trophy with this Tottenham squad, make him a god. Make him a god. Because that would be one of the greatest achievements that he's ever achieved, to win a major trophy. Don't shake your damn head. Win a major trophy with this squad. So let me swing over to your boy Ford here, and let's just be real here. Couple of things. They can't win the Premier League. That's already out. Do you think that, so to take with the Premier League, do you think, how far do they go in the Champions League? Entire tenure. Does Mourinho win a trophy with Tottenham? If he does, what trophy does he win with his Tottenham side throughout his entire tenure? And we'll save this and I will hold you to this. Remember, I've said he ain't winning no trophy with this damn side, and I'm going to stand by that. Mm-hmm. Now, what are you going to say? I'm going to hold you to it, because this is going to be saved. Now, speak.
First and foremost, I wasn't surprised that Mourinho went. Mourinho is a turncoat. He is out for himself. He's a narcissist, and I completely respect him for all those things.
Mercenary, man. That's like me, baby.
Yeah, but
true loyalty.
The only problem with that, though, is, again, Mourinho, as a man of principle, as I thought he was, I would hold him to his words. And he said in a Chelsea shirt that I would never go and manage Tottenham. I would never do that to the Chelsea fans. He said that down the camera to our faces, saying that he was a Chelsea legend. He's one of our guys, and he said that there isn't enough Chelsea legends on the TV broadcast in England. So I can't wait till when I retire, I'm going to be one of you guys. I'm going to be one of the Chelsea fans going up there and fighting our corner. And obviously, I was young at the time. Obviously, again, there was even older Chelsea fans than myself who've been there for generations. You kind of fell under the, I guess, the the allure of what Mourinho was doing at the time. He kind of built this whole us against the world culture at Chelsea, and we all kind of fell into it, and it was great while it happened. But ultimately, we know that, I wouldn't say it was fake, but it was certainly him playing. Basically, he wasn't really one of us. He wasn't a real Chelsea guy.
Because you believed that. Because we were young. If you're young, you believe that stuff.
Young, doesn't matter who you were. Everybody believed it. Everybody believed he was really one of us at the time.
So if you're 40 years old, you really believed that he was one of.
We everybody believed he was one of us, and that's why when we saw him go to Man United and say that, and in his first press conference say that, you know, Man United have the best fans in the world. Instantly from that point, we knew that, you know what, it was all fake. It was all fake. And yeah, fair play. I mean, am I happy to see Mourinho back as a football fan? Yes. Am I happy to see him at Tottenham as a football fan? It's entertaining. It's going to all end in tears, yes. But right now, it makes Tottenham an absolute threat. I think the notion that Mourinho isn't going to win Tottenham a trophy because they're historically not a team that wins trophy is absolutely egregious as a football opinion to have, HH. Absolutely egregious. Again, he went to Chelsea, who had won a league title in over 60 years, and won us 2 league titles back to back in his first 2 seasons. He made us a winning club and has made us the European giant, as you said previously in this video, in this broadcast, to what we are right now, still European giants. We've been European giants for the last 20 years because we've been European giants because over the last 15-20 years because of Jose Mourinho. There's no reason why he can't take a team, which Tottenham are right now, reigning Champions League finalists. Why can't he win that team a trophy? Why can't he win that team a trophy? When he's done more with the likes of Porto, the likes of Chelsea.
The reigning Champions finalists is actually it's title to be proud of. Yes, we are reigning Champions finalists. We are reigning losers.
It's not a title to hold up and I say that, oh yeah, we've achieved this, but it's facts. Where were Tottenham in the Champions League last season? Where did they get to? They got to the final. That shows that they're a team that certainly has quality there, and they're going to be seen that this is also a team that's got into a couple of Premier League title races and were not necessarily that close, but they've certainly competed and were consistent in the league. And again, for me, I think this was a perfect match for the short term. Again, for the long term, who knows how the dynamic between him and Daniel Levy will play out. But for me, I think for the short term, I think he's got a great squad of players who he's even, while at Chelsea, Man United, has always lauded and applauded for how good they are as a team. And for me, it's a perfect combination of the two because Mourinho, obviously, as we know, one of the greatest managers of all time is up here. Tottenham, as a club, were kind of down here in terms of how we looked at them. But naturally, they kind of both kind of come close together where Tottenham are kind of getting to this apex here where, like, are they going to really break through and become an elite club? And then Mourinho on the decline to the point where we're saying that is he now going to become just is he a has-been? Is he done as a top footballing coach? I think they come at a good point in both their careers where they're looking to really buck the gender and really say that, you know what, Tottenham, we are a top team now. Mourinho says that I can still do it at a top level. So can he win a trophy at Tottenham? Yes. What trophy will he win? He will win an FA Cup, definitely. He will compete for a league title. He won't win the league.
And he's standing by that. And an FA Cup, we're going to stand by that statement.
I mean, I'm standing by the fact that he's going to win an FA Cup. We're going to be here. You're going to be celebrating and be like, you know what, I told you Mourinho would do it. I told you Mourinho would do it. He's the greatest manager of all time. That's what you're going to be saying to me because I know that you're playing the reverse psychology here, HH. We know your games. We know your games.
This is me being real. This is me being real. I'm being so real.
So tell me why, again, honestly, you could do a documentary on Mourinho's career. I think you could very well. I think his career is very storied, and honestly, I could do a dissertation on Mourinho's career. I've studied it very well, and I even little things like how when he went to when he went to Madrid and obviously managed Cristiano Ronaldo, I saw that his numbers spiked ever since he was managed by Mourinho. You explain to me why if he was able to get the best out of someone like Cristiano and turn him into the goal scoring phenom that he is, to get the best out of Diego Milito, to get the best out of Didier Drogba, Samuel Eto'o, all these guys, all these greats of football. Why couldn't he do the same with Harry Kane? Who, for the last 5 or 6 years, has been getting 20 plus goals in the Premier League consistently. Only one of only 6 players to actually ever do so in Premier League history. Why can't he get the best out of Harry Kane? The likes of Eriksen. I don't really rate Dele that much. But the likes of Sonaldo, or how do you call him? The wrong songwriters in the East. Why can't he get the best out of these guys? Explain. Explain.
Harry Kane is a very good striker. He's a very good striker. I don't think he's built like that. And there's a potential there for him to move to the next level. I just don't trust Harry Kane in the biggest games. And because I don't trust Harry Kane in the biggest games, that is why I don't really believe that Mourinho can make him as effective or as productive as a Cristiano or as a Milito No,
So it wasn't a big game goal scorer before Mourinho came, and Mourinho made him into that. So why can't he do the same with Harry Kane? He's already scoring in big games.
Because you see, for me, like, look, when I look at players, I can look into their souls. That's my sixth sense. My sixth sense.
That. Wait, when you look for your TV screen at a player, you can see into their.
I can see their souls. I can see the souls of players. That's why I view this sort of Cristiano, and right now, guys like on the road, like that guy's like.
You also said Benzema was finished, by the way. We're all looking at what Benzema.
And I never said Benzema was finished. I never said Benzema was finished. I never said it was finished. I said that Benzema was a bomber and a brick. I never said he was finished. I said he was a brick and a loser who was breastfeeding Cristiano. I never said that he was finished. Be very clear. I pick my words very carefully. But back to Harry Kane. I do think that 100%. I think Mourinho can improve him. I don't believe that Mourinho can improve him to a point where Harry Kane delivers Tottenham a trophy, because I don't think Harry Kane has it in him, and I don't think he's built within his heart for him to be that good and that kind of prime superstar goal scorer that Tottenham need for him.
I disagree, but what about Sunrisers in the East? Eriksen.
So no for Son and for Eriksen, maybe potentially probably, but look, you've made your call, I've made my call. I just think that they give me a superstar. They need a superstar. There isn't a superstar in this team. If they buy a superstar, okay, we can talk. Argument's sake, a Neymar, a Bale, a whatsoever, like a truly superstar guy, then they're talking about something.
Wait, Gareth Bale in 2019, going into 2020, is a superstar.
Who
isn't a superstar?
So in 2019, who will you trust in the final, Gareth Bale or Harry Kane? And for if you dare say the wrong thing, man, I'm just gonna shut off this.
Gareth Bale has been there and done it in Champions League finals, yes.
Ford, I'm going to ask you a simple question. I'm going to ask a simple question, and I will give you the mic. Let me put the mic on me, then I will put the mic on you. So the simple question is this, and think very carefully. In a final, if you had to pick a guy to take you to the promised land, not against LJ, not against Norwich, not against Doncaster, a final, a massive final, and you had a choice to pick one of these two, in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, do you pick Gareth Jeremiah Bale or do you pick Harry Jeremiah Kane? Answer the question to the best of your flipping ability.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look down the camera and answer that is... I don't answer basic questions like that. The reason why is because we're pertaining to what Harry Kane's going to do in these big games. I don't see any reason why Mourinho can't get the best out of him and also this Tottenham team in these big games. If Mourinho is as great as you've been saying, and as great as I've been saying previously, but it's the right answer. If Mourinho is as great as you have been saying, and I've been saying for these last few years as a manager, and if he still got it, which let's assume he does still have it, then why can't he get the best out of a team that's already been to a Champions League final, that's already competed for a Premier League title, that already have all the ingredients there of a really good team, a really good nucleus there, and also he's going to be backed by Daniel Levy, because let's not pretend that Tottenham don't have any money. No, Tottenham have money to spend now, and that's the main reason why they got rid of Pochettino. Not only had he gone to the end of his tenure and done a great job at Tottenham, a very good job Pochettino did at Tottenham, but he come to the end of his time there. Now they've got a proven winner in there who's also of course got the great contacts to bring in great players and great names to Tottenham, make Tottenham a big team. So there's no reason for them not to want to trust Mourinho in the transfer market and back him with a budget to go and get the top players and go and maybe get the superstars that you want to get. But having said that, while they may go and may acquire some superstars, they already have players in that squad who, if they're not superstars already, they have the potential to go and be superstars. If Harry Kane's right now, pretty much for my money, the second best striker in the world right now, if not top three, definitely top three strikers in the world right now, how is he not already a superstar? If the sun rises in the east, if that's the name that you call him, I mean, that sounds like a superstar right there. Eriksen has the potential to be a top player. Ndombele, one of the best players in Europe last season. And who they're going to bring to replace him? Think about it like this. Who wouldn't want to play for Mourinho now at this Tottenham team? There's a lot of players that Mourinho has been in contact with and known through his time in football who would be like, you know what? Go into Tottenham now at that new stadium with the funds that they're going to have now, playing alongside the likes of Harry Kane. Why would you not want to go and play for Mourinho at Tottenham right now? I think there's a lot of reason to be optimistic over the next couple of years if you're a Tottenham fan. And for me, like, Tottenham are going to win a trophy with Mourinho. It's a given. It is a given.
Okay. I mean, I fully disagree with everything you just said, but we have to agree to disagree.
Mourinho was never a great manager. You disagree with that?
I never said that.
Okay.
So let's talk about Liverpool against Napoli. So we watched the second half of the Liverpool Napoli game. Lovren somehow scored, but obviously he always scores, so it was a big game. So, a few questions here. First question is this. I want to talk about Koulibaly. I want to talk about Liverpool's chances. Now, am I wrong in saying that I still believe that Liverpool are the clear Champions League favourites? Because I feel that there is no team who... Because this is all about total legs. It's all about how things go about in 2 legs. And Liverpool fans, any Liverpool fans say, oh my God, we're going to lose to Salzburg. Shut the hell up. Liverpool ain't losing to Salzburg. They may draw, they'll probably beat Salzburg. Relax, it's flipping Red Bull Salzburg. So, in the knockout stages, I just feel that, home advantage is always very, very key. Especially if you have your home time in second. And that's how Barcelona cheated their way to all those CL titles. Camp Nou 2009. Chelsea, that's that referee. It's a disgrace, Drogba. Yeah, I know, but just put out there. So my thing here is this: is that do you feel that Liverpool? I feel Liverpool are still the strong favourites because I think that people are going to have issues trying to beat them at Anfield. Although Napoli seems to be a tactical issue for them at Anfield, do you still rate Koulibaly as one of the best defenders in the world? But I think Kalidou Koulibaly, I think he's still rather good. And you clowns on Twitter who, oh my gosh, look at how Salah embarrassed Koulibaly and everything. Salah is flipping tier 2 and will always be Sadio Mane's biatch. Over to you for thoughts on that.
Liverpool are definitely top contenders for the Champions League. Obviously reigning champions, and let's not forget, on the club, they've never actually lost a European 2-legged game. In its first season,
by the way, I just saw in the chats, apparently Napoli are 7th in the Serie A.
Yeah, they're not having a great time. They are not having
and
a great time.
And they are the team who's first in the Premier League.
Things like that can happen. I mean, we've
Man City.
Yeah, okay, cool. Fair enough. I mean, doesn't make for a change, does it? But anyways, Liverpool are definitely top contenders. It hurts me to say because imagine them in another Champions League final. Lord have mercy. But I think one thing that maybe hampers them is the fact that they didn't really add anything new to this team. And you know what? When it comes to breaking down a defense like Napoli's, again, if you want the most renowned, greatest team defensively, but certainly that Italian pragmatic style, I would like to see what Liverpool do against Juventus. I think while Juventus are also people's favourites, I think Juventus could actually be a very tough matchup for Liverpool. And while I'm not picking Juventus to go and win the whole thing, I think that would be a very interesting game. So I think Liverpool, we've seen them not really even got into really fifth gear this season. They've been kind of stuttering through most of their games, but then they've been able to produce these big moments and get the results.
Yeah, they always get the results. But how long can they keep just getting these results? And they do very well getting these results, and I do love a winning mentality.
Yes.
Can you go through an entire season just not playing well and just getting these...
But the scary thing is what happens if they do turn on the second half of the season. Salah comes into great form, Mane keeps his great form, Firmino comes to the party with goals as well. It's a scary thought. So certainly Liverpool are definitely favourites. They're in the top 3 teams for me, and top 3 of my top 3 teams that I see winning the Champions League. And they're a threat. And again, nobody's beaten Klopp in a 2-legged tie while he's been a Liverpool manager. So it's going to be very interesting to see who can do it this season, if anybody does do it.
Okay.
Interesting, you didn't ask me who the other 2 teams are of my favourites for the Champions League.
I want to because I won't like the answer that you're going to give.
Fair enough.
But actually, no, speaking on that, actually, don't remind me again because we want to obviously recap the entire Champions League week. Zad. Haters. I thought you said Zad was done. I thought you said Zad was finished. Last I checked, I think Zad balled. So, with all due respect to Lionel Messi and Cristiano, Zad is the new kid on the block. I don't care how old he is. Zad is the future of football. So we're done with the past. Messi's the past. Zad is the future. So Messi, put him in the retirement home. Zad is the guy. He's for the kids. So basically, ask any young person, 15 or 16 year old, they have a Hazard jersey. So forward. Since we're now seeing Zad come back, is Zad enough to give Real Madrid that CL, or do they need another superstar player? Because in my personal view, my thing is this: Zad is amazing, Zad is quality, Zad can do amazing things, and Zad was sexy. Zad was bloody amazing in that game. But I'm going to keep it real with you. I've always said they needed either a Neymar or an Mbappe, because with this kid Zad can't do it all on his own. This young dude Zad can't do it on his own. So with the youthful star that Zad is, they need a Neymar or a Pogba. So to that you say what, bro?
I mean, first and foremost, how old is Hazard, by the way? Because I know Hazard's turning 29 in January.
Well, Penaz.
Oh, okay, cool. You said he was the future of football. I was getting confused by that. Sorry, to the question. Like, Hazard was amazing yesterday. I mean, I've been waiting to see that player play for Real Madrid. Again, there's still a few questions I would have of like Zidane's tactics, but certainly playing Isco with Hazard, I think, gets the best out of him. You see that. We saw obviously how Marcelo came to the party yesterday as well. Was amazing in that game. For me, man of the match. And I think they're kind of just coming out of the CR7 era where they were kind of playing a lot more crosses into the box, a lot more direct, and obviously that doesn't play anything like to Hazard's strengths. It doesn't at all. And I think playing a playmaker like Isco, using obviously Marcelo now as a bombing fullback, which he's always been, but now with someone like Hazard on that side, it just better facilitates the ball in that area and really gets the best out of them as an attacking team. Especially this team now, you can't play to the strengths of, again, Cristiano, who's not even there anymore. You're playing
you have to change the whole team. You've got to change the whole team. They
have to change and adapt, and that's what it looks like Zidane's starting to do. And again, it looked
the
great.
Isco factor.
Yes, Isco. I think, look, you think about it. For me, Hazard's best football in a Chelsea shirt came when he played alongside Juan Mata at Chelsea. And you have the best Spanish footballer in the world right now, Isco, in your squad. So why not use him and get the best out of, again, your market player that you bought, which is Hazard?
Oh, hold on. Best Spanish footballer.
For me, it's between Isco and Thiago. And I think at his best, especially for Spain, I would say Isco.
Yeah, because Iniesta, Xavi, they all come.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you might be.
So for me, that's the way to just get the best out of Hazard. You want to play, obviously, Isco as a playmaker there. And obviously, in lesser games, you can then maybe not play Valverde, who was obviously exceptional yesterday as well. Then play another attacking player, maybe Rodrigo or Bale on the right hand side. Isco's a number 10, and then Hazard off the left with Marcelo overlapping, or maybe Mendy.
But do you think Zad works better as a number 10 or better as a
I would like to see him as a number 10, definitely, but generally most managers play him off the left, which I understand, but I think he's only great as a winger if he's able to interchange it with another playmaker. I think where Mourinho and Conte, their systems rely just on like wingers who didn't have like a number 10 to really facilitate the play in the middle of the park. It kind of left Hazard to his own devices, and obviously when his fullback for a long time at Chelsea, not to make this a Chelsea conversation, but when his fullback for a long time was Alonso overlapping him, wasn't really going to get the best out of Hazard. Like, he's not one of those pace and power wingers who...
You just said Alonso.
Yeah, again, he was overlapping him for 5 or 6, like, it was horrible.
Jesus.
Obviously, what was for him for 2 or 3 years, and then other than that before, it was Azpilicueta. Like, these are not attacking fullbacks at all, which is why I was so happy to see him go to Real Madrid.
You see what your boy Marcelo could say.
Exactly, and that's why I'm so intrigued to see the evolution of this Real Madrid team now, because they're trying to get the best out of Hazard. So I'm interested to see how far can they go in the Champions League. It depends on if they can keep their players fit. Hazard isn't going to be too injured for too long. He should be back for the El Clasico in a couple of weeks' time. So I think Real Madrid can go far. I think it'll be very interesting to see if they can build on this team that they're playing now and try and get the best and focus more on getting the best out of Hazard, because this isn't Toni Kroos' team. This isn't obviously the Cristiano team from before. No, this is, for me, it should be built around, if not Benzema, then definitely Eden Hazard.
Or even Isco.
Potentially, and I think there's no reason why you can't get the best out of all 3 of them in this system.
No, basically Isco and Hazard, it should pretty much be their team, you know what I'm saying? I want to talk about Benzema. Bro, look at the guy scoring goals. And this is my thing with Benzema. And again, don't put words into my mouth. I never said the guy was finished. I said that the guy was being a servant and a slave for Cristiano. So I never said that the dude was finished. So my thing about it is that it is great to see what Benzema is doing, because I think Benzema is reminding people that, I'm actually a really damn good striker. And it's actually quite harsh that Didier Deschamps isn't having him in the French squad because of a sex tape with Valbuena.
A sex tape from Valbuena, not with Valbuena. Just to be
not with. Yeah. Okay. So are you surprised that we've seen Benzema actually realize, oh wait a minute, actually I'm a good striker? So are you surprised by this, or you always knew that he had this in him, but he intentionally tweaked his game and changed his game to suit Cristiano, so to be much more of a facilitator? Because for me, My thing is that, do you think Benzema, fine, you won 3 Champions and everything, but do you think he's going to regret all those years where he didn't carry on his Leon form into Real Madrid and say, no, screw you, Cristiano, I'm a flipping striker. You're supposed to breastfeed me. I'm not supposed to breastfeed you. You're supposed to breastfeed me. So, do you think Benzema made the right choice in being a servant for Cristiano because it gave them those 3 Champions League trophies, or do you think that he should have been much more greedier? Because that's what strikers supposed to be. He should have been much more greedier during that Cristiano era.
The first question you asked was, did I always know Benzema had this in him? I knew he had it in him. I just didn't think it was still there. And also, someone's got to bring up the tape on whether you did say he was finished or not. Again, someone can let us know. They can pull up the clip, send it to me on Twitter, and confirm. But
never said it was finished. Never.
For me, certainly there was a point where he looked again, like you said, like a brick. He did look like a brick for a large period of time. We can't neglect that actually didn't happen. That did happen. And I did think for a while that, you know what, maybe he isn't the same player that I saw at Lyon, because I think a lot of fans of football, when they saw him at Lyon, they thought this was going to be one of the next best strikers of his generation. And he went to Real Madrid, obviously was continuing that form to a degree, but we saw that he kind of gave up a lot of his game to serve, I wouldn't even just say serve Cristiano, it's more serving the team and what he really did. And again, should he regret that? I mean, when he is retired and he's looking at his trophy cabinet, he's not going to regret a damn thing that he did at Real Madrid, because he did all for the greater good of the team, and ultimately he got the joyous rewards of winning those trophies and scoring on those big games. And while he wasn't the be and end of the team, he was still part of a winning team. Now, if you're going to ask the question of, we should have been more greedy, but we know the Galacticos, who had many a great world-class player in that team, they didn't win the Champions League. They were very unsuccessful as a great team as they were. I think Benzema, as a player in his own right, can be looked at as a Galactico of this era, but maybe he didn't play as his own person, because if he was as selfish as, let's say, the Galacticos were, they weren't as selfless as a team, maybe they would have won one. Maybe they would have gone and won a Champions League, because you look at the likes of Zidane, the likes of original Ronaldo, Beckham, I know you're going to hate on that, but the amount of world-class players that they had in that team and they won a Champions League compared to this Real Madrid team now, many would even argue that Real Madrid team of the Galacticos had better individuals than the team that won 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years. So, to me, there's nothing to regret at all. And yeah, right now, he's one of the best strikers in world football.
And also, speaking of strikers, I think it's only fair that we have to talk about this. We've got to talk about the dude. So look, man, I've got to put him into tier 1. He's tier 1 now. He's been doing this for too long.
Wait, he wasn't tier 1?
He wasn't tier 1.
What strikers were in tier 1?
Like there were no strikers in tier 1. Tier 1 was so basically tier 1.
Stegen,
Mane, and
who else?
De Bruyne. So those were the 3 guys in tier 1. Because De Bruyne might be sticking back into upper tier, because basically the rankings keep on they're always revolving. So he might be slipping back. That's why Hazard is now upper tier 2 and upper tier 2. He had to go out to upper tier 2.
This season, surely Di Maria should be there.
Oh no.
Sterling should be there.
No. Sterling is upper tier 2. Di Maria is upper tier 2.
Okay.
So those guys are upper tier 2 now. So
I mean, I know everybody's screaming at Messi through the camera, through the TV screen. I can imagine.
Wait, no. Messi is upper tier 2. Messi is not tier 1. I can't put Messi tier 1.
Can't it? Chief or guy?
Yeah, chief.
Okay, cool. You know, I'm happy with it.
Cristiano is under review. Yeah, no. What was that? Class B. What's that? Look, he's trash, man. Can't just go to the guy. He can't dribble. He can't run. He's got horrible balance. He's horrible for football. He's trash. If he doesn't score, he's okay. Look, let me not go
there. You're a bigger man than me.
Okay, look, Lewandowski.
Mm-hmm.
Should we jump up and down and praise what Lewandowski is doing this season, or should we just wait until, cool, Robert, are you going to show up in the Champions League semi? Are you going to show up in the Champions League quarterfinal? Are you going to be the difference maker? Because 100% fair is fair. You've been playing very well. Your Pink has put you in the position to defeat Real Madrid in that 2018 final. Yeah, the 17-18 season, that semi-final. Your Pink has put you in a great position to defeat Real Madrid. But you flopped your lines. I was like, the manager is there just to give you the right platform for the players to now go and execute. If you can't execute, that's not the manager's fault. That is your fault. If that's why you had ample opportunities in the Bernabeu itself, in the second leg to score, but you didn't score. So, on one hand, I've got to give credit where credit is due. If you're playing well, you're playing well. That's just what. But a Jadon Sancho playing well isn't the same as a Lewandowski playing well. If a Jadon Sancho is playing well, I'm going to go to town. He's amazing. He's doing this, blah, blah, blah. But Lewandowski playing well is different because no. I have a higher benchmark for you than I do a Jadon Sancho. So as much as I praise Lewandowski, I'm like, but will he show up in the Champions League semi? Will he show up in the Champions League final? So am I being too harsh there, or am I being fair with that assessment?
I think your initial question was, should we be jumping up and down about what he's doing? And the second one was, should we then wait until the Champions League knockout stages? I think the answer to both questions is yes and yes. I say that because he's got like 27 goals in 20 games this season. 27 goals. Not 20 goals in 27 games, which would be very good. 27 goals. He's almost averaging 3 goals every 2 games. It's ridiculous.
That's not really guys for that. Is that right? 27 in 20.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous.
No.
He scored in every single Bundesliga game apart from the last one, so he was mad about that. So they said, I'm gonna bag 4 in the Champions League. He even had 1 disallowed yesterday as well. He's moving mad.
Well, you say 27 in 19. No, nah.
Bro, it's reason to jump up.
It's
reason to jump up and down, but I think it was 27 and 20. But even still, he's performing at an egregious rate right now. It's ridiculous. Like it's almost disrespectful how many goals he's putting in right now. It's rude. But yes, me personally, I always judge you based on what expectations we have of you when you join the club, or when whatever expectations we have set for you when ultimately your goals were set up before you. Because when he went to Bayern Munich, the goal was to win the Champions League. That's what Bayern Munich hadn't done at the time, or at least.
Especially when Pep was there.
Because the thing is,
because Pep got him, didn't he? Pep bought him, or did the Hankers buy him?
Hankers bought him, but then obviously Hankers retired that season when they won the Champions League, because Dortmund, obviously it was Lewandowski at Dortmund, they signed him, and obviously then I believe Pep went in that same season. Oh no, sorry, because that was the year that Bayern Munich destroyed Barcelona.
Wait. So in the 2013 when Bayern won the treble, where was Pep playing?
I think that was his sabbatical.
No. Where was Lewandowski?
Dortmund in the Champions League final, and he also scored, but then had his goal disallowed against Bayern Munich. And then he went to Bayern Munich the next season. So you've joined a team that are Champions League winners, and obviously are winning the Bundesliga every single season. You're not there to win the Bundesliga or to be Bundesliga top scorer. It's nice you doing those things, but that's not what you're here for. As much as Hazard's going to be on our case saying like, give him credit, we're giving him credit. He's doing amazing things right now, but ultimately, you went to Bayern Munich to go and win them the Champions League, and so far you've not done that. You failed on that primary objective. While you've met all these other requirements, you've done a great job at being a great striker. And to be honest, for my money, the best striker in the world right now, arguably the best of his generation alongside Suarez. You can have that debate until you're blue in the face. Honestly, I think it's nip and tuck between the two. You went to Bayern Munich to be a Champions League winner. So far, you've not done that, and ultimately, in these big games against Real Madrid, mainly in these semi-finals, you've not come clutch. You've not even got to a Champions League final with Bayern Munich. So for me, he's failed on that, but again, that doesn't take away from how great he's been in terms of how many goals he's scoring this season. It's been amazing. So it's all about what he does in the knockout stages, though. He's got to perform, because it wasn't waiting against Liverpool last season wasn't good enough. He's got to do better. So we'll see. The goal that is set for Lewandowski, and it's set for him to prove himself at that level, because he still has. He doesn't need to prove how good he is, because we all know how good he is, but he needs to prove that, you know what, I can win Bayern Munich the Champions League.
Okay. So just guys, send in your questions, man. Last 10 minutes and before we have to get the hell out of here. Last 10 minutes before we have to get. So just send in your questions, man. Send in your questions, and then we'll answer them through, man. Mm-hmm. So are there any big matches this? So the Classical, you say, is in 2 weeks' time.
2 weeks' time, yes.
Classical is in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, let me sit down. That's going to be good.
I mean, Hazard should be fit for that, so that is going to be crazy, man. Again, if you look at our pressure that's already on the likes of Valverde and on Zidane, like.
Well, actually, okay, that's an interesting question. This is a non-football question. So, would you rather be rich and famous or rich and unknown?
Rich and unknown. That's such a.
Who in their right mind wants to be rich and famous?
The thing is,
I don't want to. Do you know what I was? Sorry, do you know what I always say? I want to be famous for 1 week. I want to be like, if I could just be super famous just for 1 week, that's great. I would hate being super famous for the rest of my life, that would be garbage. That'd be awful. So basically, just call me what HH a half of Kardashian for the rest of my life? Hell no.
I think a lot of people have this, like they see the glitz and the glamour. They see like these runways. They see like all the news articles, the catalogs, front covers of all the newspapers, or like they see all the fame like and adulation that people get because they're famous, and like, that's great and all. But when you just want to go to Tesco to get like a quick munch or to buy a drink, or like you want to take your children to school and you're getting mobbed by people, like that's not fun. Like I know people who are famous, and like, they talk about how it's a struggle to actually be always in that limelight. So it's tough. Like. And that's why for me, yeah, I'd love to be rich, like, and have that money to obviously better myself and better my family. But do I really want to be the hustle that comes with being famous? It's a burden. Obviously, it's fun at first, but then after a while, it's like, okay, this kind of gets older. I can't just go to the shops, you know. No. So yeah, being famous isn't as attractive as it's made out to be.
Just got a question here. Who is winning the Champions League? If you're gonna ask me that right now, I'll say Liverpool. Liverpool will retain that back to back. That's what I call the retain the title.
20 years about seeing a back to back, and Real Madrid are going to do a three-peat, and then Liverpool are going to do a back to back.
Chelsea, Liverpool. I think we're in the era of back to back. So, what is and also, bro, if you say that's club, man, I won't be happy. So who's winning the Champions League, bro? Don't say it. Don't even add that stupid caveat. Don't, please don't. You're like they're banned from ever being put as anything.
Chelsea.
No, that's what I like. Good, that's what I like. So this dude says Ronaldinho or Zidane. Ronaldinho or Zidane? Okay, let me answer that first, and I'll give it to forward. It depends what kind of team I have. So what I like about that is them at their peak. So my thing about it is that it depends what kind of team I'm trying to build and what kind of team that I want to have. But in general, I have to go for Zidane because as great as Ronaldinho is, I am in better, safer hands with almost any team I can create if I've got to pick Zidane, because he is a quintessential central midfielder and he can pretty much be the heartbeat of my entire team. Now, a pick Ronaldinho can do amazing, stupendous things, and he can win me the game by himself and do all these things. But put it this way, it is a lot harder of shutting down a Zidane than shutting down a Ronaldinho. It's still hard shutting them down, but I think it would be a lot harder taking Zidane out of the game of my team than taking Ronaldinho out of the game for my team. So I personally prefer Ronaldinho, but personally I prefer Ronaldinho. For someone in my team and I'm a manager, I'll take Zidane. What's it?
Ronaldinho.
All day, every day.
Simple.
You know, Ronaldinho was on the pitch.
He was on the pitch.
I know. Schooled him. I've got pictures to show Ronaldinho chasing shadows.
I know. But you're talking about the most naturally gifted, or it's one of the most naturally gifted Brazilians of all time, let alone obviously in Europe for football. Like the things that Ronaldinho could do on the pitch and the joy he could bring just through his football and his expression and how unstoppable he was at his peak. People forget how good he was at his peak before he let, I want to say the fame get to his head, but kind of just being comfortable with how great he was, because as much as people say that he enjoyed playing the game and he really did, he had a real hunger. You could see in his prime that, you know what, he was really...
Kicking off, he always had a smile on his face.
Also, but you just see the eagerness in terms of how much he wanted to impress and really make something happen for his team at his peak. Like, he had a real fire that burned inside of him that made him the player that he was.
Because he's a footballer.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And again, for me, I just felt like at his peak, he was unstoppable. Like, whether he could go left or right, be able to create goals, score goals, and then the skills that he was capable of. I just feel like at his very best, you would need 2 or 3 players to stop him. And
so just even because just from what you're saying there, and it's almost back to this whole Messi Cristiano thing, and even bringing in Neymar into it, we don't have a Ronaldinho today. We don't have that one player where you watch him and you're like, man, what is he gonna do? Like, wow. And he will then sort of inspire you to go and say, see, Neymar was supposed to bring us back to that. So once Neymar was coming up, it's like, oh my gosh, Neymar's gonna now take us back to the Rivaldo, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho days where, man, we now have the number one player thing. Because I said, as good as Messi is, he's like a machine. He just does the right things. He won't dribble you out of enjoyment. Yeah. He'll dribble you out of necessity. Ronaldinho is dribbling you out of enjoyment and trying to Ronaldinho is trying to entertain the crowd. Messi's not trying to entertain the crowd. Messi's trying to win the game. What do I need to get past you so I can now get this goal for us to win? Ronaldinho is like, no, I want to win, but I want to entertain. Like Ronaldinho's things is I want to entertain, and we don't have that. And I think that is something that football has missed. So today, right now, is there a footballer who is the number one guy? Okay, when last did we have a footballer who was the face of football who entertained like Ronaldinho did?
I think, it's been a very, very long time. I mean, before someone, like, the last person who really excited me like that when I was watching them on a consistent basis was probably Cristiano Ronaldo at Man United. Like, think of it, the tricks and the skills, the flair, the flamboyance, the arrogance, the confidence. It was probably him. I mean, maybe somebody can let me know, somebody in between. But again, the reason for that, which is why we've seen the game kind of develop in this way over the last few years, is because this is, for me, the generation of the manager. Like, the manager is taken over, or maybe should I say the coach, where it's all so tactical and everything's like coached to like macroscopic detail to the point where like you haven't got time for somebody to be flamboyant and to show all their flair and all of that, because people don't want to see too much personality on the pitch. It's all about just being robotic and fitting into a system and cutbacks and, you know, taking set pieces from a certain angle, and then like it's all basically very robotic football in this generation, which is why it made teams kind of more organized, better, but it takes away from like this free spirit of certain players. Because my favorite players growing up, other than those who played at Chelsea, was Ronaldinho and Henry. And those are players who are very expressive on the ball, and they kind of just had fun. You can see it. They kind of just oozed their confidence onto the game, and they weren't really bound by like instructions from the manager or coaching or coaching or just general like. They could express themselves and the coaches allowed them. Yeah, that's really like the coaches
the managers back then. In the like late 90s, early 2000s, like 95, 2000, maybe 2005, 2006, you really had many superstars. And the manager really allowed the individuals, but you know what, I have got my game plan, but I have these 2-3 individuals who I know that they can just do something just to influence the flipping game. Like what Ronaldinho did in that 2006 Champions League season. But what we're now seeing now, which is the point that you're making, is that it's really about the coach. So everything is what the coach is allowed to say, which is what makes PSG exciting. That is why I am, as much as I insult him and he pisses me off, that's why I was excited. I'm still excited about the PSG project, because the PSG project is, no, we're not going back to the old school where it's about superstars expressing themselves. Like Tuchel is like, I want you to express yourselves. I am there to be heard. Yes, I've got my general game plan, but this is a playground of superstars. You know,
there are the personalities in football to be those expressive, like flamboyant players who who almost like showcase their abilities. Like, to be honest, maybe the last person who was kind of like that, but he wasn't at the world class level. Even though he should have probably got there was charisma. But our players like, you know, even your Paul Pogba's in Man United, Mbappe's kind of showing flares of that. I think Sadio Mane could be a real entertainer if he was allowed to do that. But even though while you see that these guys have those raw attributes of wanting to be very not showboating, but essentially kind of like that, they're obviously restricted in the systems that they're in, because it's all about the system, all about executing the game plan. Because right now the game plans in football right now are executed or are so detailed that it doesn't allow any room for you to be expressive or to have fun on the pitch, essentially. Because right now it's a job. You know how
you actually make it, because I think, because I've always said like, you know, what is the, because I don't want to sound like a nostalgia mentor and everything, but say, what is the difference between like football now and everything? But I think it is true where the tactics are so much more detailed because the technology has improved now. So, and that's what's even what I saw watching that Amazon Prime thing with Pep. You can get so much data on your opponents where you're almost going to school learning about all of the different things, where every individual, whenever they're on the sidelines before like a sub comes, they have like their iPad on.
Yeah.
And on that iPad, there are like 3, 4, 5, 6 different pages of what they want this player to do. So I think what we're not lacking is where I have a Ronaldinho in my team. Yeah, I'll coach him, give him instructions, but my God, go out there and just do you. See, Messi has that freedom, but Messi doesn't have the imagination of Ronaldinho. He is insanely talented and he can do crazy things. But there's a difference between being insanely talented and see, Messi is more consistently of a high quality than Neymar. But Neymar just has greater imagination than thing. Like Neymar will just do this. We're like, what the hell did this guy just like? How could you even think of that? And that's what we're missing. Well, we're missing those kind of arrogant players where like they just do something that just makes you go, whoa, what the hell? And we just do not have many of them because everybody is fitting into this monolithic thing of like, this is the coach's thing, and we're going to sing all this thing because we just want to win. So it's not about me, the individual, we just want to win.
And again, we made the point of having the debate about obviously Messi, like when I said this is the hardest generation to play football in and succeeding, and it kind of came across like I was making a jest and a joke, but no, I've actually looked at it, and the reason why I say that with confidence is because you look at this generation of football, like we're always learning from the previous generation, and there's so much more new breakthroughs in tactics and obviously physical development in players, like just sports science in general, like everything's always developing and improving. And now the littlest thing that you see on a football pitch, like even just a throwing, like you don't know that that's already been drilled 20 times in a week previously already. Like things are drilled to like the nth degree where everything is so monetized in terms of how they're going to do things tactically that again it doesn't leave that much room for imagination and freedom on the pitch.
Okay. That's the thing.
By the way, the big game this weekend is Atletico versus Barcelona.
Oh, I think I just saw Bob mention
And
that.
I guess the new. What's the new Atletico stadium called? Is it just called the new Cal?
No, Wanda Metropolitano.
Wanda Metropolitano. It is theirs, which that's a massive game.
No, a huge game. But well, let's see how well Barcelona have done, and let's just see whether is that Sunday or Saturday? Might be Sunday. I think Sunday. All right, guys. Look, man, that is all from me and your boy Forward Man. Thank you much. Obviously, we'll hopefully be seeing Forward here next Tuesday or next Wednesday, hopefully. Yeah. And yeah, man, it's all good. Remember to like the vid. Remember to subscribe. And remember, you can follow Forward on his Twitter to tell him that he's a brick. In his Twitter handle, it's in the description box below.
I'm not the one who slandered Cristiano.
Easy,
my family are gonna sleep peacefully today. I don't know about yours. Honestly, I mean, you've been doing this for a while, so you know. I think.
Yeah. I'm used to it. So all right. That's what's all from me. Peace out, stay true, stay black. Remember to subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.